My name's Joseph LaMartina, and my son's name's Matthew. When Matthew was born, the doctors told us that he would never be whole again, and that he had brain damage. And they told us to put him in Rosewood and just go away and forget you ever had him. That's what the doctors at that time were talking. From there, we decided, no hell, we'll keep him. And we did. And we raised him up.
The neurologist told us Matty couldn't hold his head up. He was limp. So he started him on prosticmine. And he started having seizures. And we almost lost him a couple of times.
And you punch me if you if I go wrong. All right. One other part with Matty is his health. Was Matty had a problem with self-abuse. We sent him up to Kennedy. They were going to straighten him out. Well, when he'd go to hit his eye, they would zap him. So finally, they called us up and said, we can't do anything more with him because he said he damaged his eyes so bad. They were bad anyway. He hadn't really had very, very, very poor vision in his eyes. It happened, I think, at birth. He had
cerebral hemorrhage.
They had a hemorrhage at birth. Grace called me one time at work, and I came home, and she said he had blood in his eye. So we took him to the doctor, and they sent us up to Wilmer Eye Clinic. And they told us that, he said, really, there's nothing I can do with him, because he said, if I operate on him and get it right, first time he goes like that and hits it, you know. So then we've had a helmet on him and all this stuff, you know. But he was smart. He knew how to get that stuff off. He knew how to get the safety belt off of his there. But he had so many problems. That's when I got into the association. We both joined the association citizens. We started the push to get a cottage built for handicapped. There's nothing in Anne Arundel County for handicapped children. So we started that, and then the state, at that time, was very helpful. One of the councilmen, he led the whole charge through to get us the land that we needed to build it. And they told us that as the association, we had to make money to help build it. And they started raffling, and we made quite a bit of money for the association. My wife and her girlfriend, they went everywhere. And I think they interrupted people. They went into a funeral home, went to the man, and the man who was in charge there, he walked into the room, and they followed him into the room. They didn't know at that time that he went in the bathroom. But, you know, they sold him a ticket. So
what we did, we used to get all the businesses in Bernie, wherever.
So then they started to build the cottage. When the cottage was built, we found out that Matthew wasn't one of the ones that would be chosen to go in there. It kind of hurt. So we continued on with this, and then Matthew was still home. When he was 20 years old, finally, Bob started to building on the 5th cottage, and Matthew was then allowed to go into there. And I was still on the board, and I used to give Bob a lot of crap, but we got along very well. The thing was with the 5th cottage was that it was a continuing cottage. They had people round the clock. So we felt safe that Matthew was there. And I had a hard time putting him there. Really did. I was kind of apprehensive. And it was a great decision.
We picked him up every weekend. Well, at first we'd pick him up Friday and take him back Sunday. And as the years went, we got older. We'd pick him up Saturday morning and then take him back Sunday.
And what I think really happened at the end, the doctor had told me earlier that they may have to put a thing in his side here or whatever, go across.
A bag.
And man, I'll tell you, that scared the living heck out of me because I know I wasn't going to stay there. And I said, no, we'll do this here. And then he started getting worse. And
his white cells went up. And they said they had to do something.
So we were in the hospital this one time, this last time we took him in there. And they said, we're going to have to operate on him and we're going to have to do that now. It's okay.
But when they touched the colon, it burst. And he had septic. So.
But what they said was, when they called us and told us to come down the room, we went down where they had him after the operation. And they said, actually, the only thing that's keeping him going is the ventilator. And I called my boys to come down. And so we all waited for him. And I think one of your staff come down. She helped us out. So Matthew passed. The big thing was with being at Bello, really, really saved our lives. Really. I don't know what we would have done. I can't believe what Bello Machre was then and what they are now. And I believe it was Bob's vision that took him there. They made us a family. We were a family, and then we had people to talk to. We had people to cry with. Without that, we were just us two together. I don't know if we would have made it through with Maddie. I don't know how it would have worked. He pulled us together, and they pulled us all together. But Bello pulled us all together, really. It was well named, let's put it that way.